Hi guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a Tabouli salad. It's very easy and it's a very refreshing salad, and it's a good option for any vegans or vegetarians out there. So our ingredients here are mainly parsley and mint for the greens. Now for our recipe you'd use at least 2 bundles of parsley. They come already bundled up in the grocery store, so just 2 of those would be fine. 1 bundle of mint. Also, we would need some tomatoes, cucumbers, garlic, and some green onion. Also, we would need some lemons and salt, pepper, olive oil, and bulgur. That is a kind of grain, a wheat here. And what I first start with in the recipe is the parsley. So I go ahead and I wash the parsley and I make sure to break off the stems on the end. So we want to leave as much as we can of the top of the parsley only. And this salad takes a lot of work. Everything's very thinly chopped. So you want to make sure you don't get these rough stems in there. So break them off as close as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. And you got to chop them up as little as you can as well. Same thing with the mint. You would have to just wash it, break it off the stems, and dice it as small as you can. And it should look something like this. Then what I like to add is the tomatoes. Now, just depending on the size of the tomato, if you have a small one, I would use 2. But if you do get like one of the large ones like this, I used about half of this tomato. So let's go ahead and add the tomato here to our recipe. And then the tomatoes, just dice them. They don't have to be too small. And we do want to keep the juicy part of the tomato as well. That's where all the nutrients is. And with our cucumbers, we're going to go ahead and cut them in half like this. And what I do to cut these in the most successful way is I cut them long at first, about 3 or 4 cuts, and then I go along those cuts. And I try to make them as close as possible so they come out really thin. So let's go ahead and show you how that looks exactly here. So that is the cucumbers. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the salad as well. And again, with this salad, you can modify it any way you'd like. If you like more of a cucumber taste, add more cucumbers. If you like tomatoes more, you can put more tomato in it. It's honestly a very versatile, very flexible type of salad. So next thing we have is the garlic. It's raw garlic. So we're going to basically use about 2 cloves. But again, if you really like that garlicky taste, you're more than welcome to put 3. I would say just start with 2, so just in case it's not a little over garlicky, you can always add more of any of these ingredients at the end. Don't forget that. So I went ahead and I already diced up some garlic here. I'm going to add that in. And let's see here. So we also have the green onions. So what I did, I peel off the bottom part here, make sure all the gross stuff is off. And we're going to dice these as little as we can. We don't want to get too far up in the green area of the onion. So I would say about here should be okay. So I went ahead and I already diced those here and put them in the salad. Now with the bulgur, what I do is I add about, I would say a little less than 1/4 of a cup, and you have to let it sit in water. Now, once you measure out the bulgur, the amount of water just depends. I really don't have a measurement for it, but I fill it up to where the water sits like right above the bulgur. And you put it on the stove, make sure to leave the heat low, and just let it boil. And once it boils, just turn it off and let it sit so it absorbs the water. So I'm going to go grab that real quick. So it does need to sit in the water just for a little bit longer. But I do want to go over again, we want to chop everything as small as we can for this salad, just because that's how it's made. But again, if you prefer having it more chunkier, then you're more than welcome to make it that way. Now, with the amount of lemons we use, I usually start out with 2. But again, just in case if you need more, you can always add more. So let's go ahead and cut this in half. Make sure not to get any seeds in there because nobody wants that. The lemon basically creates the taste of the salad, really. And it's definitely good for you as well. Let's see here. And again, you want to make sure to put all the ingredients in moderation. You don't want to put too much garlic in there before trying it. This is the type of salad you make and then you try a couple times before you get it to where you want it to be. So I'm going to check on the bulgur one more time. Okay. All right, so it's looking good. I'm going to let it sit for just a bit longer, and it should be ready in just a minute or so. Now let's cut up our second lemon here. This is definitely a salad to have any time of year, but I mean, I don't know why, but it definitely tastes better in the summer, just because it's hot outside and it's really refreshing. Yeah. And if you do like more of a minty taste, again, you can add more mint. So let's get our spoon here. Let's mix it up. And the aroma of this salad is just something else. It's so fresh and it smells so good. So I'm gonna grab the bulgur now. So it should come out looking like something like this. Now it is still a little hot. I would wait for it to cool down, but we'll go ahead and add it. And it doesn't really matter for this recipe what order you put in the ingredients, but I would suggest to just start with the foundation, which are the greens, the mint, and the parsley, just to make it easier for you. So we're going to go ahead and mix that in as well. Now for our seasoning for the salad, or dressing, I don't know what you'd call it. I first start with the olive oil. Now the olive oil is meant to make the salad like not too dry because of all the greens, so it does make it a little soggy. I just try to cover it a little bit on top, and again, we'll have to try it to see if it's enough. So we added the lemon, we added the olive oil, and next we have the salt and pepper. And again, this is to your own preference, however you like it. And this serves about, I would say, 2 to 4 people for the amount of greens that you use. If you do want to serve more people, I would say just add 2 bundles per, like, a person or 2, if that makes any sense. All right, so it's a lot of mixing, so we're going to mix it up here. And let's grab a spoon to try it out. Now, if it tastes a little too dry, I would suggest to just add more olive oil to it. So the lemon is perfect. It is a little dry, so we're gonna have to go ahead and add more olive oil and see how that turns out. Now you want to make sure you mix everything really well, and so it gets divided into the whole salad here. Okay. All right, let's try this. That's perfect. And that's how you make a Tabouli salad.